The Pathfinder Volume 39, The Role of API Process Development in CMC Drug Development, a comprehensive overview.
In this audiocast, we discuss the role of API process development in chemistry, manufacturing, and controls drug development, including its importance in ensuring the scalability, quality, and safety of drug manufacturing. It provides an overview of the API process development, associated challenges, and common questions that arise during the clinical phase trials leading to commercialization. The article also compares small molecule APIs and biologics, highlighting their differences in molecular size and complexity, mechanism of action, and manufacturing processes at a high level.
As pharmaceutical companies develop new drugs, one of the most critical aspects of the development process is ensuring that the drug can be manufactured at scale and meet all necessary quality standards. This process is known as chemistry, manufacturing, and controls drug development, and it includes several critical steps that ensure that the drug can be produced consistently and safely. One of the critical components of CMC drug development is API process development. API process development involves the optimization of the manufacturing process for the drug's active ingredient, ensuring that it can be produced at scale and meet all necessary quality standards. In this article, we will provide a comprehensive overview of the role of API process development in CMC drug development. API process development involves the optimization of the manufacturing process for the active ingredient in a drug. This process includes the development of synthetic routes, the optimization of reaction conditions, and the selection of appropriate solvents and reagents. The goal of API process development is to produce a high-quality product that can be manufactured consistently at scale. API process development typically begins in the early stages of drug development, during the preclinical phase. During this phase, scientists will develop and optimize the synthetic routes for the drug's active ingredient. They will also determine the critical quality attributes of the API and develop analytical methods to measure these attributes. As drug development progresses, API process development continues. Scientists will refine the synthetic routes and reaction conditions to optimize the process for scalability and cost-effectiveness. They will also work to ensure that the API meets all necessary quality standards, including purity, potency, and stability. API process development plays a critical role in CMC drug development. It ensures that the drug's active ingredient can be produced consistently and at scale, which is essential for bringing the drug to market. Without API process development, it would be challenging to manufacture the drug in large quantities, which would limit its availability and increase its cost. In addition to ensuring that the drug can be produced at scale, API process development also plays a crucial role in ensuring the quality and safety of the drug. The optimization of reaction conditions and the selection of appropriate solvents and reagents help to minimize impurities and ensure that the API meets all necessary quality standards. This is critical for ensuring the safety and efficacy of the drug and protecting patients from harm. Despite the critical role of API process development in CMC drug development, there are several challenges associated with this process. One of the most significant challenges is the complexity of the chemical reactions involved in drug synthesis. Many drugs require multiple steps and complex chemical reactions, which can be challenging to optimize for scalability and efficiency. Another challenge is the need to balance cost and quality. The cost of manufacturing a drug can have a significant impact on its availability and affordability. However, it is essential to ensure that cost-saving measures do not compromise the quality or safety of the drug. Not all APIs are created equal. The main difference between a small molecule API and a biologic is the size and complexity of the molecule. Small molecule APIs are typically synthesized chemically and have a low molecular weight. They can be administered orally or by injection, and they are generally small enough to penetrate cell membranes and interact with intracellular targets. Small molecule drugs are usually designed to target a specific enzyme or receptor to modulate a biological pathway or process, and they typically have a well-defined mechanism of action. In contrast, biologics are large, complex molecules produced using living cells or organisms. They are usually proteins, peptides, or nucleic acids and have a high molecular weight. Biologics are typically administered by injection and have a more complex mechanism of action than small molecules. They may target a variety of biological pathways or processes, including the immune system, and can be used to treat a wide range of diseases, including cancer, autoimmune disorders, and infectious diseases. Because of their size and complexity, biologics are typically more difficult to produce and require more complex manufacturing processes than small molecule APIs. They are also more sensitive to environmental factors, such as temperature and pH, which can affect their stability and efficacy. Additionally, biologics may have a higher risk of causing an immune response or other adverse reactions than small molecule drugs, which can limit their use in certain patient populations. Overall, small molecule APIs and biologics are different in their molecular size and complexity, mechanism of action, and manufacturing processes. However, both types of drugs play a critical role in treating a wide range of diseases and improving patient outcomes. During API process development, several common questions may arise, especially during the clinical phase trials leading into commercialization. Some of these questions include: is the synthetic route scalable for commercial production? It is essential to ensure that the synthetic route used to produce the API during clinical phase trials can be scaled up to commercial production level. This involves optimizing the reaction conditions, selecting appropriate solvents and reagents, and minimizing impurities to ensure the scalability of the process. This in turn is true for a fermentation process for a biologic active as well. What are the critical quality attributes of the API? The CQAS of the API must be identified and measured during the clinical phase trials to ensure that the drug meets all necessary quality standards. This involves developing analytical methods to measure the CQAS and ensuring that they are consistently met throughout the production process. What is the impurity profile of the API? Impurities can affect the safety and efficacy of the drug, so it is essential to minimize their presence in the API. During API process development, it is necessary to identify and measure the impurities present in the API and develop strategies to minimize their presence. What is the stability of the API? The stability of the API is critical to ensure that the drug remains effective over its shelf life. During API process development, stability studies are conducted to determine the shelf life of the drug and identify any potential stability issues. What is the cost of manufacturing the API? The cost of manufacturing the API is a crucial consideration during the clinical phase trials leading into commercialization. It is essential to balance cost and quality to ensure that the drug is affordable while meeting all necessary quality standards. Are there any regulatory requirements that must be met? Regulatory requirements must be met during API process development to ensure that the drug can be approved for commercialization. This includes complying with good manufacturing practice guidelines and other regulatory requirements. API process development is a critical aspect of the CMC drug development process. API process development involves the optimization of the manufacturing process for the drug's active ingredient, ensuring that it can be produced at scale and meet all necessary quality standards. During API process development, scientists will develop and optimize the synthetic or fermentation routes for the drug's active ingredient, determine the critical quality attributes of the API, refine the synthetic routes and reaction conditions to optimize the process for scalability and cost-effectiveness, and work to ensure that the API meets all necessary quality standards, including purity, potency, and stability. Common questions that arise during API process development during clinical phase trials leading into commercialization include whether the synthetic route is scalable, what the CQAS and impurity profile of the API are, what the stability of the API is, the cost of manufacturing the API, and whether any regulatory requirements must be met. API process development is a critical component of CMC drug development. It ensures that the drug's active ingredient can be manufactured consistently and at a scale while meeting all necessary quality standards. This is essential for bringing the drug to market and ensuring its safety and efficacy. Despite the challenges associated with API process development, ongoing research and innovation are helping to overcome these obstacles and improve the efficiency and quality of drug manufacturing.
Thank you for listening to this audiocast. Are you an emerging biotech or established pharmaceutical company struggling to keep up with the ever-changing landscape of drug regulations? Look no further than Incrisi. We are the leading consulting group helping organizations comply with drug regulations through a comprehensive drug development model incorporating augmented intelligence and data analytics. Our industry experts can guide you through the complex world of compliance, making it more manageable than ever. With our Reimagining Regulatory Pathways services, we can help you design and implement best practices to streamline your operation and ensure you stay in line with current legislation. Our range of services covers regulatory drug development's technical and strategic aspects. Let us help you develop an overall strategy that accounts for all potential risks while still being able to meet your objectives. Visit our website at www.enkrisi.com to learn more and get started on the path to regulatory compliance success.